Okay, so one of the questions that I get asked more frequently than anything is, do you have any tips on becoming a webcam model? I'm interested in becoming one, etc. And the answer is yes. But my first piece of advice is, while I appreciate you messaging me, girl, if you're gonna be self-employed and run your own business, you need to be independent. Step one, do some research. You can't expect someone to tell you all the things to do. There's, you know, a plethora of internet knowledge out there, and if you're gonna be successful in this industry, you need to be independent, you need to be pragmatic, and you need to be able to do shit on your own. You get asked all the goddamn time, how do you get into this, blah blah blah, and I'm like, bitch, I didn't ask anybody for advice when I got into camming. I did all this shit on my own, and like, if you're gonna be successful, that's what you're gonna have to do. So yes, this is a little bit of tough love, but yeah, you can't rely on other people. You gotta build your own success. That being said, here I am, bitch. Time for the advice. So, little backstory, how I got into camming. I was dating someone at the time. I've only had one boyfriend in my life. So my ex-boyfriend, when I first started dating him, his friend was dating a very successful My Free Cams model. And I had never heard of camming up until that point, and I was like, whoa, that's fucking sick. I literally pondered being a cam girl for about 3 years. I was working in retail at a job that I had at first really loved, but after years and years and years of being fucking underpaid and not appreciated, I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. So I started camming on Chatterbait while I was still working in retail. For like the last 8 months or so, I did a ton of research and I fucking bombed. I did not have good luck on Chatterbait. It was rough. I think I made like maybe like 500 tokens a night on there. And that's one thing that I feel like you gotta drop, is I went into camming being like, I'm hot, you know, I got a niche, I'm tattooed, like, I'm sure I'll do great. And you know what? I didn't. Camming is not easy money. Everybody on the internet that has never even been in a cam room or know anything about what we do at all likes to think that we just get on cam and are like, hey, these are my tips, and people are like, here's $18,000. That's not how it works. It's a very oversaturated market, especially nowadays. If you are gonna be a cam girl, 99% of you, it's not gonna be easy to get to where you wanna be. Some girls log on and they do, boom, fantastic right out the gate. Most people do not. I did not. So my plan was originally, because I had done so much internet research, I had done research and being like, okay, so My Free Cams is more of an intermediate website. It has cam score that you have to worry about, like rank, like blah blah blah. I'm gonna get a footing on Chatterbait and then hopefully gain a following there and bring it over to My Free Cams, which is a fantastic idea if you can get successful on Chatterbait. I couldn't. And this was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, there was like a ton of more girlfriend experience, cute girls that do well on there. Chatterbait now is just a fucking shit show. I always say that Chatterbait is like a jerk-off website, but MFC is a community. It really is. I realized shit was not going well for me, so when I finally got around to quitting my job, I was just like, alright, I'm gonna see how things go on MFC. And that is how I got to where I am now. Obviously, there's a lot of work in between, and I will get to that, but advice times. So, disclaimer, I was a cam girl for about 1.5 years before I started making good money. And there were months where it was rough. There was like a couple months where I struggled to be able to make $1,000. And if I didn't have a partner at the time that I was living with, I would have been pretty fucked. Your income is not guaranteed as a cam girl. You never know how much money you're gonna make getting online. You have a huge tipper that leaves, that affects your income. There's so much uncertainty in it, and that's something that you have to be prepared for. So I would definitely suggest that if you're going into camming, do it with some money saved up, because you don't know how it's gonna go. And you could be one of those girls where you log on, you instantly start making bank, or you could be like me where it's like you had to fucking bust your ass for a really long time. And that's the thing, is being a cam girl is not for everyone. Like I said, it can be really hard mentally and emotionally. It's an oversaturated market. There's a lot of really beautiful and vibrant girls that you are competing with, and it can be hard not to compare yourself. It can be like, how come I'm not doing good? What's wrong with me? When you have slow nights, you are selling your image and your personality. And when nobody wants that, it can be rough. You have to be a very solid, a very confident person in order to last in the industry, because it can drive you crazy if you aren't level-headed. So yeah, I think it's just important for people to understand that camming is fantastic. I love it. I'm so grateful for it, but it isn't fucking like roses and cotton candy. It's hard. You really have to bust your ass. You gotta build a name for yourself. Another thing that you have to be comfortable with is, how do you feel about everybody you know seeing you with a dildo in your ass? Personally, I'm totally okay with that. I don't care. But you know, you might. What do you want to do long term with your life? If you want to be a teacher later in life, because shit's on the internet forever, you need to be okay with the fact that shit is on the internet forever. Camming's definitely not something that you should just like willy-nilly get into on a whim. You need to really think about your life and what it's gonna be like. Personally, I mean, for me, I'm already covered in tattoos. I had my hands tattooed at that point. I know that I'm always gonna be working in something a little bit unconventional, and I'm okay with that. And now that I'm self-employed, I'm like, oh my god, I can't imagine not being self-employed. So I'm 110% okay with everybody in the world knowing what I do. You just need to make sure you're on the same page, because once you're in, it's not something that you can get out of. That shit is there forever, and it's serious. Yeah, really think about if that's something that you're okay with. Obviously, the first thing that I did, which is really important, is to set up all your social media. Some girls do better on different websites. I set up a Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. Tumblr didn't really do anything for me. Nobody gives a fuck about me on Tumblr, so I don't even really use it anymore. But a lot of girls have had a lot of luck getting a big Tumblr following and then translating that into cam. For me, I started getting a lot of followers on Twitter at first. When I first started, I fucked around with a lot of promoter accounts and got a lot of followers that way. But through time, I learned that those are just all shit followers that don't support you. They just want to jerk off at your tits that you post on Twitter. They're not going to come to your camera. They're not going to tip you. So promoters, just don't fucking bother with them. And yeah, and don't get too wrapped out in the numbers of followers, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If you have like 200,000 followers, that's great, but if only like 5 of those people are actually coming to your cam room, it doesn't fucking matter. There's girls that are like top 20 models that have like 1,000 or 2,000 followers, so just don't fucking worry about it. Just, you know, keep on your hustle. One of the most important things getting into camming is privacy. So you need to have all your bases covered. I'm lucky that I have never been an internet person, so like I didn't really even use social media before I was a cam girl, so I just don't really exist on the internet other than Loretta Rose. So ideally that's what you would be like, but make sure all your shit is private. If you have a Facebook, make sure it's private. I personally wouldn't have a photo of your actual face. Take all that shit down. Just have like a picture of like, I don't know, a fucking like cat or whatever suits your fancy. But yeah, change all that shit, make everything private. One thing that I see a lot of girls do, which I don't think people realize, is Google image search. So if you take photos for cam and you post them on your cam Instagram, but then like you post it on your personal Facebook, if you Google image search a picture, it will show you everywhere that it's ever been posted. So if someone takes it from your Instagram and puts it in and you posted it on Facebook, well, they know what your personal Facebook or your personal Instagram is. If you're gonna have a wish list, obviously set up a PO box. If you only have Amazon Prime things on your wish list, then your address is always hidden. But if you have like third-party vendor items on your wish list, you don't always hide your address. So I personally am not okay with people knowing where I live. So I have a PO box, and it's kind of standard procedure to like, don't get a PO box that's right by where you live. Get it somewhere that's like out of the way. And if people have your PO box address, don't go to it by yourself. Be smart about that shit. Obviously, you can block locations on cam sites. So if you're on My Free Cams, ManyVids, you can block locations. I had my location blocked until my family knew what I did for a living. Once I told my family, I unblocked everything because I'm like, I don't really care. That's like, there's a lot of people that live in the province that I live in, and I don't want to fucking miss out on that. And plus I'm like, I don't know, maybe there's like creepy people that, I mean, I'm sorry, you're not creepy. Maybe there's people in real life that are like, oh shit, load up this porn now. I'm gonna buy a porn and jerk off to it. And I'm like, yes, please, I would love that. I will take your money. And plus it's like, anybody, if somebody wants to watch you on cam, they'll watch you on cam. It's not hard to install a proxy. Lots of people use rotating IPs anyways. So my philosophy is, if somebody wants to watch me, they'll fucking watch me. I'm very careful about, you know, if I'm out in public, Snapchatting, that there isn't like aren't street signs showing or any sort of landmark. You just really have to get into the mindset of just being very, very paranoid about everything. That's kind of just like basic privacy 101. But sadly, all of us females are raised with immense amounts of stranger danger because there's a lot of creepy ass people in the world. So I'm sure that you know, a lot of this shit is common knowledge, but just be careful, protect yourself, because there are a lot of people that like to exploit cam girls and leak all their information, and it's really fucked up. And I know I have friends that have crazy stalker issues, and it's just not something that you want to have to do. So just make sure you have all of that shit on lock. Personally, I don't have any personal social media, which I would suggest doing. I don't even really interact with anybody that doesn't know that I cam. I don't really care what like Joe Schmo from like high school is fucking doing. So personally, I would just delete all your social media and then only have cam stuff. But that's just me, because I think privacy is paramount. And personally, I love my free cams. I feel like it is the most community-based website. The members are so lovely. Obviously there's gonna be assholes anywhere you fucking go, but they're, you know, it's really lovely when you build a crew of people and everybody knows each other and everybody cares about each other, and it's just really lovely. So that's why I love MFC. But there are different websites. I'm definitely like a public chat based model. I really love talking with everybody, and that's kind of the thing that I love most about my job. But there are options if you want to be like a private show model, where you just basically are like, hey Sally, whatever, I'm gonna fuck myself for you in private. You can make a lot of money doing that. You can make so much money if you get into fetish stuff, but I just don't like doing stuff that I don't enjoy. I feel like it's not authentic. I feel like that comes across, and I think it's really important to just be yourself and do what you like doing, and when you do that, people respond to it. It's easy to get caught up in like, oh my god, this girl does this girl does this, her personality is so this, but it's like, yeah, there's so many awesome girls in the community, and that's great. That's their thing. But nobody wants that person 2.0 who's shittier. So don't try to be another fucking girl. Be you. There's only one you in the world. That's fucking special. And it's just obvious if you're not, if you're trying to be somebody that you're not. I think that's a big key to success in camming, is just being a you. Now, camming on my free cams, when you first start out, you have a thing that's called new model status. So you can sign up, you can get your account already, and then new model status won't start until the first time you broadcast. So there's like a lot of, what does new model fucking status, how long does it last, etc. Well, so the default on the website is that new model status lasts for 7 days, but members can change it to 30 days or 3 months or something like that. But most people have it from 7 days. So it's really important that when you have new model status, cam like as much as you fucking can. You get a lot of extra traffic in your room when you have that, and then when your new model tag goes away, it fucking dips off. So I did cam every day, but in retrospect, if I could do it again, I would cam every day, literally all day for like 12 hours. The first year that I was camming, I made my schedule around my ex-boyfriend's schedule, which was dumb in retrospect. So I cammed from like 1 to 6, and then I think part of the reason, there was like a lot of reasons of why I didn't really have a whole lot of success in the first year, but I make way more tokens at night, and I didn't start camming at night until much later in my career. So I would say, because consistency is so important with gaining regulars, being on at the same time every day, but then also like you don't really know when your like sweet spot time is gonna be, My advice, if I were to do it again, I would probably cam every day from like noon to midnight or like 1 to 1 or something like that to see what works for me. The better that you can do in your first week, the more that it's gonna help you be successful. It's like if you can rank good in your first month and get like a decent cam score, then you're gonna be great. But about cam score, a lot of people fret about it, and in my opinion, cam score, schmam score, don't fucking worry about it. There was a time when I focused too much on cam score, and even like my cam score sucked. For the first year it was less than 1,000, which is like normally people are like, oh my god, that's terrible. But like, you can't make money if you're not online. I remember like reading about this back in the day, being like, I don't know if I should focus on cam score or whatever. And then Lux Neon tweeted at me, and that's something that really resonated at me, which is so simple, but it's just like, you don't get paid in cam score. And I was like, bitch, you are right. You do not get paid in cam score. So yeah, cam score, schmam score. As soon as I stopped caring about cam score, I started doing well. The first month that I got top 250, my cam score was 1,800, which is not great, but top 250 is a really good amount of tokens to make. And who cares if my cam score is 1,800, if I'm ranking top 250? It doesn't matter. Most members that are, especially members that are like hardcore into MFC, they don't sort the homepage by cam score. They sort it by fucking like their friends list or whatever their fucking preference is. So really, all that it does is random people that come to the website just see those models at top. Cam score will come with time, but just don't fucking worry about it. Your money is way more important than some stupid fucking number. Just don't even worry about it. Cam score is the amount of tokens you make per hour that you're online over the course of 60 days. And if the homepage is set to default, it is ordered by cam score. But cam score does not reflect the amount of money that you make. And at the end of the day, that's why you have a job in the first place. So who cares about this fucking stupid, what's the word that I'm thinking of? Arbitrary number. Just like, fuck it. Just like, in my experience, the more that you stay online, the better. Like I said, the reason that I got top 250 the first time is because I was online for 10 hours every fucking day of that month. So my cam score was trash, but I made bank, and that set me up to do consistently better. So yeah, fuck a cam score, do your hustle. Numbers don't mean shit. As long as you're trying your best, that's all you can do. Obviously, another important thing is having a profile. My profile I made myself. I make all of my graphics using a website called Canva, which is really fucking dank and really user friendly, and I highly recommend it. And then I use cammodelexpress.com, which highly recommend. It's made by a model named Miss Lollipop, who is super badass. Having a subscription on Cam Model Express is definitely a huge plus, and you can like make a video showcase, which if you look at my profile, I have. And ever since I did that, I've started making a lot more tokens when I'm not online. Having a profile is important. I would say if you can have a profile set up for your first shift, that would be ideal. One of the things that I think is not necessarily instrumental in becoming a successful model, but I think it definitely helps. I see, obviously, I love a lot of girls, and you know, everyone can be successful. There's a market for everyone. There's a bunch of different ways to be successful. Everybody has their own pathway to success. Personally, I think it's very important to remember that you offer a service and this is your job. And this is supposed to be a fun thing for the members that come and hang out on the campsite. There are a lot of girls that make hanging out on cam a job for the people that hang out with them, being like, you guys really need to step your game up. You're not tipping me enough. What the fuck is going on? Like, it's so slow. Where the fuck is everybody? And it's like, dude, they have a job. A lot of them have wives. And that's why they come here, to get away from that shit. They don't need another job. They don't need more stress. They don't need another woman being like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're not doing enough. I personally think it's very, very, very important for both the members' sake and also my own sanity to try to be as positive as possible. I really, 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 really hate the complaining culture that comes with a lot of cam girls being like, I'm not hitting my goals. Today fucking sucked. I'm gonna go to Twitter. You know, a lot of people will disagree with me. I do think it's important to be real. I do think it's important to be more than like a sex robot, but it's also important to remember that this is your job. This isn't your personal Twitter account. Like, nobody wants to hear you be like, I'm having a shit fucking day. Fuck this. Life sucks. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Like, nobody wants to hear about that. Nobody buys your Snapchat to be like, wow, I can't wait to listen to this girl complain about her life that I give money to. No, nobody wants that. I think it's also important to remember that you aren't entitled to any of this money. Like, you aren't. You can't expect, people work hard for their money. You have to work to deserve it. Just because you log online, you look hot, you have nice tits, you got a nice ass, you got a great personality, that doesn't mean that you're entitled to people's money. You have to, you know, offer services that people want to buy and check yourself. And appreciate that your job is based on other people's generosity. And stay fucking humble. You know, sometimes like I have bad days and then I just have to remember that my bad days now are what really, really good days used to be for me. If you're always focusing on the negatives of camming and the bad days, you're gonna be miserable. And your members are gonna be miserable. And they're not gonna wanna hang out with you. I think the key to having a successful room on MFC is being authentic, being yourself, but also being positive and remembering that this is supposed to be a fun place for people to want to come to like escape the stress of their lives. I am always very real with people about what's going on in my life. I'll be real about when, you know, I'm having a bit of a rough time on cam, which I have been recently, but it's not their fault. It's not their responsibility. It comes with the job. Cam is never going to be great all the time for 99% of girls, and even top models have hard days, bad days, where nobody talks to them, they don't make the kind of tokens they normally make, and they're like, wow, this is hard. It's hard to feel good about myself like this. But yeah, it comes with the job. So that's kind of like the most important advice that I would want to impart onto a new cam girl, is just really, 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 really remember that you are very, very, very blessed to have this job. Don't take your members for granted. Don't beg for money. It's not their job to give you money. If you're not making money, step your own fucking game up. Don't put it on your members. Why aren't people tipping you? What aren't you offering? What haven't you been doing recently? How can you expand your business? How can you make it more fun for people? Chances are there's up and downs in the industry all the time. There'll be good months, there'll be bad months. If you're having consecutive bad months, chances are it's because of something that you're doing. So this is a job. You're running a business. Be pragmatic. If you're not doing well, figure it out. Figure out how you can do better. And being a fucking bitch on Twitter and on Snapchat, no offense, love all my cam ladies, but you know that there are people that do this. It's not gonna help you. It's just gonna hurt you. No one's like, wow, I can't wait to log on cam tonight to have this girl berate me. Sounds like lots of fun. What a way to unwind after a hard day at work. So yeah, I think that's really important. Another thing that can really help you, A, have supplemental income, but B, make tokens on cam, is to create videos and your own porn. And this is something that I did not realize prior to cam that I would be incredibly passionate about. I am really proud of the porn that I make. I highly suggest you checking it out on Twitter and ManyVids and all that stuff, but it can be a really fun outlet for creativity, sexuality obviously, and a really good way to make more tokens. A lot of members love collecting content from the same girls, and it's also nice passive income. If you make a ManyVids account, you'll always kind of have, like, I don't make a ton of money on ManyVids, but it is nice supplemental income. One thing that I've been talking to a lot of like newer cam girls recently, and they're like, see like all this amazing content that girls put out. I don't have a good camera, I don't have good editing software, so like I'm embarrassed to put shit out. And while I understand that, just everybody starts somewhere, man. Don't expect perfection out of yourself. Everybody that is like successful in the industry started out with 0 followers. We all start in the same place. And you can get to wherever you want to be if you are willing to work hard enough for it. So get out there. When I first started making porn, I was filming them on my Logitech C920 webcam. And to this day, I still edit my videos on Movie Maker. I've just learned how to make it look bougie. I am saving up for Final Cut Pro, so I will get that, but there's no reason that you can't make cool content with what you have. I know girls that film on their phones and still make good content. Just work with what you have, and then when you get a little bit more income, you can invest in a better camera. But yeah, there's a huge market for really amateur porn. People really like that. So you don't have to have super crazy 4K. Wow, there's like a concept behind this video and it's visually striking. Don't worry about that. You can make a lot of money off of amateur stuff, and if making like super cool artistic videos is something that you want to get into, then you'll build up the skill and you can work towards that. But for the time being, work with what you got, learn the basic skills. I kind of touched on this a little bit, but I think one of the most important things in terms of camming is consistency with your schedule. Even if you can only work 1 or 2 or 3 days a week, whatever, once you kind of find out what time works for you, getting on the same time every day is really going to help you. It's really hard from personal experience. If you get on very sporadically for whatever reason, it's really hard to build a group of people that are gonna come back and see you. So consistency is incredibly important. I think it's also very important to figure out what your boundaries are. There's a lot of different ways to be successful in camming. I have friends that are non-nude models and they do really well. If you know Ashley T, she's just way fucking better than me and she doesn't get naked at all. So you don't have to do that. And then like I have friends that are topless only, or they get naked but they don't do cum shows. Just figure out what you are comfortable with and then don't fucking compromise on any of that. Like I said, I truly believe that you can be successful doing whatever you fucking want to do as long as you work hard, persevere, and stay positive. So if you're like, I don't want to show my butthole on camera, then don't show your butthole on camera. Personally, I don't care. So when I first started camming, I was in a relationship, and so we kind of discussed what we were comfortable with, and I was cool with doing everything in public. I did private shows, but I didn't do cam to cam. So I didn't want to like simultaneously jerk off while looking at somebody else who was jerking off, because it felt too intimate to both my partner and I. And now I'm just kind of like, I don't like doing private shows unless it's with somebody that I know. And even still, now I'm single and like could do cam to cam, but I just don't really like looking at random internet dongs, so I don't. But I think one of the most helpful things that you can do is watch other cam girls. That's how you will get a gauge of how you want to price things, how much you want your topless, naked, cum show, whatever countdowns to be, how people set up their room topics, and just how people run their rooms. There's so many different ways. I think it's good to find a girl who has like a who has a similar personality to you, and then also to find people whose rooms that you just really love being in. Obviously, if you watch a cam girl a lot, tip her. I think it's good to find girls that inspire you, and obviously, you know, there's inspiration to take, but there's a difference between taking inspiration from someone and just like straight up copying someone. And as I've said earlier, I think being authentic is really important to A, just being happy in your life, and B, being successful, because people can see through bullshit. And obviously positivity is something that's really important to me, but there are girls who have really successful rooms that are that have a lot of like people that really enjoy them calling out trolls or like being kind of bitchy, and that's where I feel like it just comes into everybody has a different personality and you just have to do what works for you. And I think watching cam girls is really integral for you to understand how girls interact with members, how they set their prices, what fucking types of shows and tip options they offer, and just generally speaking how they run their rooms. And that is going to give you an idea of how you want to run your room, what you aspire to be. And one thing that I did read back in the day before I had even started camming, which was a piece of advice that I really liked, I think I read it on Amber Cutie, I don't remember, which was cam how you want to cam when you're successful. So personally, aside from when I was on Chatterbix, I literally just had like no fucking clue what I was doing. I've never compromised my prices. I'm like, this is the amount of money that I feel comfortable making in order for me to take my shirt off. And there was like a year where just like, I didn't really clear, I cleared like a topless countdown like once in a blue moon in my first year camming, but like I was okay with that. I really hate foofy shit, and I'm not necessarily into a lot of foofy shit, but I really do believe that you can do whatever you want. So for me, it was, what, it sucks, I can't clear these countdowns right now, but I know that me being successful is a matter of when, not if. And there was a period of time where if you have a string of bad cam days in a row, it can be really rough. But I was like, girl, you gotta stop getting down on this shit. So every time that I would have a bad day, I'd log off, I'd turn on The Secret to where it talks about the financial part, and I would just watch it and I would be like, bitch, when, not if, it's happening. I'm gonna be successful. Number one, I always say, I'm gonna be the #1 model on my free cams in 2020. It's happening. Put it out there. Positive energy, positive vibes. I'm gonna be a top 20 model one day. It's gonna fucking happen. You know what? Sometimes it might seem something crazy, but I just think that if you put it out there and you work hard, stay positive, you be kind to people, you do your absolute best, that you can just do what you want. So work hard, work towards your goals. If you want to be a cam girl, if you want to be a successful cam girl, you can fucking do it. You just gotta be smart, you gotta be independent, you gotta be positive, and you gotta love yourself. And you gotta love the people that support you. So I don't know if this helped. This is very scatterbrained. Long story short, being a cam girl is an incredible job. It does come with stigma. It does come with a lot of people asking a lot of really fucking stupid questions. It can come with like really fucked up things happening in your family. I'm very lucky that my family has been very supportive, but I know a lot of girls who have been excommunicated. Like, it's rough, man. There's still a lot of fucked up perspective of women and sexuality in this day and age. But you know, kinda we're all working to change that, and it can be a badass businesswoman who fucks her pussy online and still be really smart, really cool, really kind, and a good person. So that's what I'm trying to do in the world. If you guys have any questions, I'll try to respond to the comments. Yeah, I hope this was at least somewhat helpful. I love you guys!